Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Vision Driven Family Institute Live, where we educate family leaders to fulfill their purpose, build wealth, and empower future generations. And I'm your co-host, Philip Porter.
And I am Dr. Janice Porter. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We're excited. Got another great show for you today that is sponsored by Generations Empowerment Enterprises.
Yes.
And our intro music is produced by Sebastian Sounds out of Richmond, Virginia. So we're excited to have Sebastian Sounds doing our music for us. But as everyone knows, as you join in our show, please like us and please share us and let us know that you're here so we can send some shout out and some love to you. But we always like to start our broadcast with some quotes. So if Dr. Porter can start us out.
All right, our first quote for today. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And that's by Nelson Mandela.
All right, quote number 2. Education is the passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Yes.
And then that's by Malcolm X. And as you see, this afternoon, we're starting out with educational quotes, which we will be doing all month, because the family vision word for the month of October is education empowerment. Education empowerment. You may say, well, why did you guys select education empowerment? Because that's going to be one of these key pillars after you have created your family vision, after you have written it down. You think that was hard work. Now, the hard work begins as you implement these 8 pillars, because regardless of your family vision, regardless of your personal vision, regardless of your dreams and passions that you have, all of us know to accomplish those dreams, we're most likely going to need one of these pillars, which is more education.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to need more knowledge in order to achieve it. Okay, education can come in many forms. Yes, it can be classroom. Yes, it can be through a workshop. Yes, it can be through YouTube video training. Yes, it could be sitting down with your mentor. Okay, so training can come in many different forms. Could come from reading a book,
researching a topic.
All right, so that's what we're saying, empowerment. Okay, but you gotta, pull that education and knowledge within you so you can actually achieve your dreams and family visions that you have for your family. So pillar number 2, family vision, is education empowerment. Okay, and that's going to be our topic for today, education empowerment. And we're doing that through the celebration of HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. Okay, so those of you, if you know somebody who attended, or if you attended yourself, feel free to post what school, historical black college you went to, and who actually attended one. So if you know somebody who attended a black college, send them some love, send them some shout out, make sure you post their name on our page. All right, actually got welcome Minister Carter, Xavier Carter. Welcome for joining the show on this afternoon. Okay,
and as you can see, as we celebrate HBCUs the month of October, Philip and I are so grateful that we were blessed to attend the HBCU. Philip went to South Carolina State, and I went to Jackson State. So we are truly grateful. We've been blessed by going to those schools. So we're highlighting and celebrating education, empowerment, and HBCUs through HBCUs.
Yes.
So while I'm talking, I want to take time to welcome all of our first-time viewers to our live broadcast. Welcome. If you or your family have a dream or a vision to accomplish something great or something with your family for legacy, for generations, to leave a legacy, you're at the right place at the right time.
Yes, you
welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have any questions for us, please post them on Facebook. We'll try to answer them today or either via email. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, announcements.
Yes.
Okay, want to jump into the announcements. I'll do the first one.
Okay.
Next Saturday, we are going to be at Fort Worth Book Fest.
Yes.
Fort Worth Book Fest, and it's going to be at TCC 300 Trinity Campus Drive, Fort Worth, Texas, between 10 and 6. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, anytime during that period of time next Saturday, we would love to see you and stop by our table and support all of the various authors that's going to be attending this great event. Okay.
And then on December 8th, which is a Saturday, December 8th, we will be in Mobile, Alabama.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, we'll be doing a live workshop there at the Holiday Inn Downtown Historic District.
All right.
So we're excited about that and looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We also want to encourage you to please join our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, and join our Vision Driven Family Institute Facebook page is what it's called. Thank you.
Okay.
What else are we celebrating, Philip?
Well, just all month, we're celebrating, which we said before, educational empowerment, and we're doing that celebration through increasing awareness of HBCUs throughout the United States. Okay, obviously we can't talk about them all and all the various accomplishments, but hopefully we'll give you a little nugget that would inspire you to attend physically, online, or wherever the case may be. So that's what we're doing. I did check for HBCU's classic football schedule, and to our knowledge, there's not a classic game going on this weekend.
Right.
All right, but as they come up, I know the next one's going to be in a couple of weeks, so we'll let you know that when that comes up.
However, there are a lot of homecoming games going on today and this month. Today happened to be Jackson State University homecoming game. Woo! And they're playing Mississippi Valley State. So win, Tigers, go Tigers, go.
All right.
So lots of homecomings are going on at HBCUs this month.
Okay. All right. So that's our announcements for today. And we appreciate everyone that supports us every week and all the regular listeners and watchers that we have. So we actually like to thank you for that.
Yes.
All right. So hopefully you got your cup of coffee and whatever you might have for this afternoon as we get ready to go into our broadcast. We want to start it out with a trivia question. This is a trivia question. And if you know the answer, you can post it right here on our Facebook page, and hopefully you might have the answer. But the question is, name the HBCU alumnus who invented the Super Soaker. Okay, so name the HBCU alumnus who invented the Super Soaker. Okay, most of us, if you know anything about those little super that shoots water every place, the guy made millions and millions of dollars off of it. He did go to an HBCU.
Yes.
All right, if you know who that person is,
you already said he's the mayor. You said guy, so you gave that away.
Oh, hold on.
That's all right. Good.
They got a hit already. Okay, all right, and we're going to give that answer to that trivia question at the end of the broadcast.
Yes.
Okay. And now we want to move into the Did You Know?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Did you know segment for HBCUs? Did you know?
You know.
Okay, and some of these doing our research, I didn't even know.
Right.
All right, but it's pretty some good stuff here. All right, HBCUs in the United States, did you know they represent less than 3% of the colleges and universities? They represent less than 3% of the colleges and universities. However, they enroll 12% of all African American students. Okay, of all African American students, they enroll 12%. They produce 23% of all African American graduates.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty astounding. even though they represent 3%, okay, they're producing 23% of all African-American graduates. So that tells you how important the HBCUs are important to our community, okay? And they say they confer 40% of all African-American STEM degrees. 40%, that's pretty astounding for colleges and universities that represents 3% of them, okay? So another astounding statistic. Another one is they educate 50% of African-American teachers. So 50% of African-American teachers went to a HBCU.
That is correct. I'm grateful. I'm one of those. I went to Jackson State University and I majored in biology education. So I was a science teacher when I began my career due to Jackson State University. So I'm grateful. Yeah, I believe that number.
Okay.
Because it started as an educational teaching college.
All right.
All right.
And then also, this is interesting, 70% of African-American dentists and physicians earn degrees at HBCUs. Okay, so chances are, if you have an African-American dentist or doctor, that there's a good chance they attended an HBCU. Okay, so in another statistic, 58% of HBCUs offer students the opportunity to study abroad. Because I know that's a big deal these days. And these statistics came from the changing face of historically Black colleges and universities from Black enterprise, from Black enterprise. So that's, did you know?
I think that's great. Keep in mind, we know that HBCUs was created hundreds of years ago and they're still around going strong. When we could not attend college anywhere else, our ancestry was wise enough and to create wonderful colleges and universities that are still thriving today and producing excellent graduates today.
All right, yes. All right, so our topic for today, like we talked about, is Family Vision Pillar number 2, education empowerment. Education empowerment. And we want to just continue to encourage everyone to continue increasing your education because it does help your family vision.
Yes, it does.
Okay, because most of us, your family vision will not be achieved and will not live for generation unless you gain some knowledge. All right. One of the things, for example, one of the things I did this week and going to continue for the rest of the month, I've taken some Zoom video conference webinar training because we're actually going to be start doing webinar training here at the Vision Driven Family Institute because we are getting this request all the time from people throughout the country. So we can actually have our vision, family vision training available online, doing a webinar and on demand. So, but I have no clue on how to do that. Okay. And so, but now with Zoom, you can do that. Some schools uses it, some colleges uses it for their webinar platform and so forth. So we're going to be doing the same as well. So that's part of what continuing education in order to make your family vision, one of ours, the Vision Driven Family Institute, one of our family visions. So that's what we're saying, continuous education. That's very, very important.
So we do this to not only to help ourselves to increase our own human capital and our skills, but we do it for our family vision for generations down the road, for future generations. It's why we're so passionate about what we're doing and why we're stressing the importance of education. Okay.
So, I mean, so when you think about education and if you get a degree or whatever, always think about, well, how can what I'm getting benefit my family?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. If you have a certificate, how can I use this to benefit my family and benefit the community? Okay. A lot of the people going to be coming up next, they use their knowledge, their education they were blessed to get to help their family, to help their community, and some are even impacting the world.
That's right.
Okay. So that's what we're saying. So education empowering that. The family vision pillar number 2, which means there's actually 7 more.
Right.
Okay, we're only talking about 1 of the 8.
That's right.
Doing this month. All right, so continuous education. All right, so Dr. Porter, we're going to turn it over to you.
Okay, so as we look at HBCUs and focus on education empowerment, we thought we would focus on and highlight just a few of HBCU graduates who have truly impacted not only our society, but the entire world. So we only want to focus on 8. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of more.
That's right.
Famous or well-known graduates of historically Black colleges and universities that we can share, but we hopefully we pique your interest enough that you will continue to do some research and find out more about the alumnus of HBCUs. And so the role of historically Black colleges and universities has continued today into the 21st century with a variety of new and emerging African Americans and people of color voices joining the national conversation. Here are only 8. We're going to share only 8 well-known people associated with HBCUs. Just a brief summary of their contribution to the word brief. And you know, you could pick any 8. It's just so many. We just happen to choose these 8. There are so many others.
That's right.
And so we'll tell you who they are as we go through. We'll let Philip start with the first one, and I'll do the second one.
Okay. All right. The first one is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one of the most famous graduates of a historically Black college is none other than the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the civil rights leader whose efforts to create equality in America led to the Civil Rights Bill passing Congress and being signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson. King was born in 1929 in Georgia and attended Morehouse College before becoming a Baptist minister and activist. He is the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize and is the most famous for his I Have a Dream speech delivered from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial at the closing of the March on Washington. Okay, even after his tragic death in 1968, King remains a symbol of civil rights in America. So this is the first of some few examples of education empowerment. Okay, how this first of all impacted his family. Right. Then it impacted his community, then impacted the United States, and of course impacted the world. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And our second one, everyone knows who she is, Marian Wright Edelman. And some people pronounce it Elderman, but Marian Wright Edelman. She's best known for founding the Children's Defense Fund and for being the recipient of the MacArthur Prize, as well as the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was born in South Carolina and attended Spelman College. She completed her education by earning a Juris Doctorate, Juris Doctorate from Yale Law School, and was the first African-American woman to be admitted to practice law by the Mississippi Bar. Huge. She's one of the strongest voice advocating for equality for children. She's lobbied Congress to overhaul foster care, support adoption, to protect disenfranchised and disabled children. And she speaks at so many graduations. She's received so many doctoral honors, honorary doctorates, and etc. But we know Marian Wright Edelman as an activist, as an activist for Children's Defense Fund, speaking up on behalf of those, the foster care, supporting adoption, protecting disenfranchised and disabled. And I did not know that she was the first African-American female admitted to practice law in Mississippi Bar. That's huge.
Wow.
If we keep going, we have Langston Hughes. Okay. Very few people are unaware of who Langston Hughes is. He's a poet who served as inspiration for many of today's greatest African-American poets and the leader of the Harlem Renaissance. He was born in Joplin, Missouri. Hughes went on to earn a doctorate from Lincoln University. HBCU was Lincoln University.
All right.
He spent the rest of his life in Harlem writing books. Well, majority of his life after he graduated was in Harlem. Writing, his work is based on the lives of working class African American and their diverse culture. He was a large influence on New York's literary scene for the majority of his life.
Wow.
And he was a strong advocate for African Americans. I know, Langston Hughes.
Wow.
His influence can be felt continuously even today in the 21st century, especially in the work of prominent African American authors, playwrights, and poets. Langston Hughes.
All right. Let's kind of jump in the streets. Yeah. All right, we're gonna jump into the NFL. Okay, we're going to jump into the NFL, and we want to recognize Jerry Lee Rice.
All right.
Okay, and those who know anything or very little about sports, you most likely have heard the great name of Jerry Rice, who played in the National Football League primarily with the San Francisco 49ers, and he is widely considered to be the greatest wide receiver in NFL history, and often called the greatest NFL player of all times. Okay, Rice attended Mississippi Valley State University from 1981 to 1984. He became an outstanding receiver and acquired the nickname World. Due to his ability to catch anything near him. In 1982, Rice played his first season with redshirt freshman quarterback Willie Totten, if I spell that, pronounce his name right, Totten. Okay. Rice caught 66 passes for 1,133 yards and 7 touchdowns as a sophomore that year. Together, Totten and Rice became known as the Satellite Express and set numerous of NCAA records in the spread offense of Coach Archie Cooley, nicknamed the Gunslinger.
Okay.
All right. While at Mississippi Valley State, Jerry Rice became a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity at the Delta Phi chapter at what they call the Valley.
All right.
Okay.
Mississippi Valley State.
He is the all-time leader in the most major statistic categories for wide receivers, including receptions, including touchdown receptions, and receiving yards, and once being the leader for total yards and touchdowns in a season. Rice was selected to the Pro Bowl 13 times, named All-Pro 12 times in his 20 NFL seasons. He won 3 Super Bowls with the 49ers and an AFC championship with the Oakland Raiders. As of 2017, Rice holds over 100 NFL records, the most of any player by a wide margin. In the 1999, the Sporting News listed Rice second behind Jim Brown on the list of football's 100 greatest players. In 2010, he was chosen by NFL Network's NFL Films production, the top 100 NFL greatest players, as the greatest player in NFL history. And of course, Rice was inducted into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2010 and in the College Football Hall of Fame in 2006. That's none other than the great Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State University.
All right. And now I got to do a segue, just as a side note, we didn't have it in our notes, but because it's Jackson State University homecoming today, and they are playing Mississippi Valley State, which is Jerry Rice. He's a graduate of that HBCU. I got to give a shout out to our homeboy, Walter Payton, who finished from Jackson State University, Chicago Bears. Sweetness. Whoever added him on, but I had to throw him out there. Walter Payton, a Jackson State University graduate. And we may give you more later on in October about Walter Payton. Had a wonderful career with the Chicago Bears.
All right, welcome.
Jackson State graduate.
And welcome, Greg Williams, for joining the program.
Hi, Greg.
All
Tell
right.
Samantha we said hello. We love her, Greg. All right, so Alice Walker. We're going to continue. Alice Walker is best known to Americans as the Pulitzer Prize-winning author of The Color Purple.
Whoa,
She was born in Georgia. Walker attended Spelman College, Spelman in Atlanta, on a full scholarship. She is known as an activist and has repeatedly given credit to a chance encounter with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with her start in being an activist and activism. She is now known as a strong voice for the African American and feminist communities. Never one to back down from controversy.
Okay.
Walker